Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? It is here, ladies and gentlemen. You have been patiently waiting for the sunscreen empties. Now, if you missed my mega skincare empties video that I did a couple of weeks ago at this point, definitely check it out because I was slacking and failed to get you guys an empties video on time. So there is a lot in that video. But as promised, today we're going to be talking about sunscreen empties. It's summertime. Maybe you are vacationing to the beach, hanging out by the pool, doing stuff outside. You, of course, need to be protecting your skin from the sun, although that's a year-round sport, but we tend to need it even more in the summertime. This time of year is when people are actively searching out sunscreen information. They're buying, they're trying, and they're getting frustrated. So allow me to share with you the sunscreens that have worked well for me recently and for a long time. Coming in at number one, this is a sunscreen that is underrated. Flies under the radar. People don't even realize it exists. They buy things that are 9 times more expensive, but essentially the same thing. This is the Jack Black Oil-Free Sun Guard. This has to be one of my all-time favorite hybrid sunscreens. Hybrid sunscreens contain inorganic active sunscreen ingredients and organic active sunscreen ingredients. In other words, metal oxides and organic carbon compounds. In this case, zinc oxide and octinoxate octisalate. The thing I love most about hybrid sunscreens, including this one, is that they're not too bad as far as the white cast. They are not cast free, however. I also love hybrid sunscreens, at least in the US market, because our sunscreens that solely have organic actives, aka the chemical sunscreens, the organic actives that we have available here, sometimes, although not always, can burn and sting around the eyes. Hybrid sunscreens do not typically do that. They're a little bit more sensitive skin friendly, if you will, if you find that the organic, aka chemical sunscreens burn and sting. This is also SPF 45, which is decent. SPF 30 or higher is what I recommend, so 45 is pretty good. 50 versus 45, kind of like splitting hairs at that point, but the higher the SPF, the more likely you are to get enough on the skin to actually protect you from a sunburn. Love that it's water resistant 80 minutes though. If you're gonna jump in the pool, this should stay on while you're in the water upwards of 80 minutes, and you need to get out, pat dry the skin, and reapply. As with any sunscreen, you also need to reapply it every 2 hours while you are outside. If you get really sweaty though, you're going to want to reapply it more frequently. Pat dry the skin first. As far as the inactive ingredients, the non-sunscreen ingredients in this, it's pretty bland. It's fragrance free, which I love. For those of you who cannot escape niacinamide, despite the fact that it burns and stings and irritates you, and it's very frustrating to find sunscreens without it, guess what? No niacinamide and good old Jack Black. I say this flies under the radar too because it's sold at Sephora, but it's actually pretty affordable, and in my opinion it's like the best sunscreen at Sephora because I have used multiple tubes of this and I often buy it when they have that big Sephora sale. This isn't super sticky, greasy, oily. To another water resistant sunscreen. Now this is one I like to use for everyday purposes. This is the e.l.f. Suntouchable Invisible Sunscreen SPF 35, water resistant 80 minutes. So 35 is decent for everyday purposes, but if you happen to jump in the water, it's nice that this is water resistant. I like the water resistance factor as well for the fact that it's super humid where I live. If you happen to work up a sweat unexpectedly, it just stays on the skin a little bit better. This formula goes on clear, colorless, zero white cast. I have never had this run into my eyes, cause burning or stinging around the eyes. Also free of niacinamide. Now, if you have ever used Supergoop's Unseen Sunscreen, this is a great affordable alternative to that. It looks pretty similar. It's actually a little less oily in feel. It has isododecane silicone that has this nice pore blurring effect and tends to go over well for people who have oily skin. Also a great ingredient family, formulation, texture, consistency for humidity and heat because it allows for good evaporation of sweat. Sunscreens that are really occlusive and don't let your skin breathe, so to speak, even though there are no alveoli in your skin that don't allow for good evaporation of sweat, they can make you overheat. So then the prospect of reapplying that when you have been outside for a while is like, oh God, no thanks. This is great in that regard. Also works really well and is marketed as a makeup primer, so as a base for your makeup. Speaking of formulas, for those of you guys and gals in humidity and heat, I mentioned this one in my sunscreen gels video. It is the Skin Aqua Super Moisture Barrier UV Gel. It's a Japanese chemical sunscreen, zero white cast, amazing filters including Tinosorb, Uvinol A+, Uvinol T+, P150, as well as octinoxate. This does have alcohol in it, which terrifies some people, but I promise is a safe ingredient. It helps the formula maintain its ingredient stability to protect you well, but also creates a gel texture that is fast drying and allows for good evaporation of sweat. Perfect in humidity, zero burning or stinging around the eyes whatsoever. Also in the sunscreen gel category, this is a newer to me discovery. It's the Naked Sundays Cabana Clear Water Gel Serum SPF 50. This was a dream, a dream, a dream, a dream. Quick dry, not the least bit greasy, clear, colorless, zero white cast, chemical or organic sunscreen, no burning or stinging around the eyes, not water resistant, but an excellent base for makeup, an excellent daily facial sunscreen for days when you're not going to be doing pool-based activities, water-based activities, generating a lot of sweat, doing sport out in the sun. And this type of formulation goes on really well on hair-bearing areas like the brows, facial hair. Now, you guys, get excited because I am going to be doing a huge SPF lip balm video. Like, I'm actually kind of a bit in over my head because I have ordered a ton that I'm testing out, trying to get B-roll here and there so I could put the video together for you guys. But they have some SPF lip balms, albeit they do have flavorant, which is not my preference, but they will be in that video, so make sure you check it out because the finishes on the lip balms are interesting. I think you guys will be intrigued. No niacinamide in the Cabana Clear, but the ingredient that I was a little bit worried about for me personally because of past issues with other products that had this ingredient, it does have this cockadoo plum, which a lot of you guys have commented that many Australian companies put cockadoo plum in stuff. So that must be just their ingredient, but this product didn't cause me any issue, but if you're sensitive to that or allergic to it, be aware that that's in there. Naked Sundays. Naked Sundays. I say it wrong all the time. I have to splice out what I say and try to fix it in the videos because I always want to call it Summer Sundays or Naked Sundays. Yeah, I just get it confused with that other brand. Finish on it is not shiny, it's not oily, it's not greasy, it's not super matte. I don't like and would not finish a super matte sunscreen. And if it's super dewy and shiny, then I won't use it. For example, the Ordinary's newest sunscreen, y'all, if you don't have anything nice to say, come sit by me with regards to that because what a flop. Side eye aside, let's move on to a sunscreen I hate to admit I enjoy because I'm really pissed off at it. Why? Because it does not need to be as expensive as it is. It's the Kiehl's Auto Tone Discoloration and UV Solution. Now, if you know the saga about this, the temper tantrum I pitched in my review of this, you know, like, oh gosh, here we go again. She's going to complain that this is too expensive, but I really wanted to try this because Melasil is an ingredient that L'Oreal has come out with. They put a lot of research behind this ingredient. It shows a lot of promise for hyperpigmentation, melasma, because it kind of gets in the way of some of the melanin precursors. So it's a unique mechanism. And when it comes to tackling hyperpigmentation, combining ingredients, each with different mechanisms, ultimately ends up yielding some of the best results. So in the case of this particular sunscreen, it's got Melasil and it has niacinamide. Now, if you hate niacinamide, you're pitching a big eye roll. I get it. But as far as an ingredient for hyperpigmentation, it's fantastic because, you know, provided you get along with it, of course, it disrupts the transfer of pigment packets from the melanocyte, the pigment producing cell, to the surrounding skin cell. So that is a really great mechanism, unique, and this has both Melasil as well as niacinamide. It's a chemical sunscreen. Comes out kind of peachy in coloration, but it goes on with no white cast or any kind of chalkiness or anything, but it is a chemical sunscreen. Now, I love the fact that this is fragrance free in contrast to the La Roche-Posay version of this. La Roche-Posay and Kiehl's are both L'Oreal brands, so they kind of, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, kind of a dealio, and that they have kind of some similar formulas. The difference that annoys me is that, first of all, the La Roche-Posay one is not inexpensive, but it has a strong fragrance, which I find offensive. I don't want that on my face. It lingers. Yeah, I don't enjoy it. So this one is fragrance free, but even more expensive, which I find annoying, and hence why I complain. But Kiehl's, you know, their branding is a bit more like, you know, we're in the airport, so we're going to charge you way more than we need to. All right, now this one you've heard me talk about before. I want to say this is like my third or fourth tube of this. It's the Peacom Water Barrier Sun Cream SPF 50. It has Tinasorb S, Juvenile T150, Juvenile A+, Mexeril SX, and it's got niacinamide, okay, and it has glutathione, so those are antioxidants, and the niacinamide has the benefits of being good for redness, hyperpigmentation, the moisture barrier, and it also has ceramides, which are good for the moisture barrier, free of fragrance, goes on smooth, no white cast, very moisturizing, very calming to apply, amazing formula. Speaking of Korean sunscreens, I also finished up a Haru Black Rice Moisture Airy Fit Daily Sunscreen. This actually is kind of similar as far as the ingredients to the Peacom one, except this texture is a bit thicker. This is one, if you have dry skin, you don't mind a heavier feeling sunscreen. It's not super heavy, but it is heavier than the Peacom one. The Peacom one, when you're putting it on, you get that burst of hydration. This, not so much. It's more of that shield-like feel to it. It's got rice bran oil in it, Houtunia cordata, which is a botanic. Extracts from that help to ward off oxidative stress. Also has ceramide, and it has phytosphingosine. So good ingredients for the moisture barrier. It's a great option if you have an impaired skin barrier, you're looking for a daily facial moisturizer for, just day-to-day use. It's not water resistant, so, not something to rely on for sport. All right, and then last but not least is one from Caravee. This is a sunscreen I discovered a few years ago, liked, but was annoyed by the fact that at the time it was like very expensive for Caravee. Flash flood. Fast forward to 2025, where everything is expensive, definitely more expensive than it was in 2017 when I tried this out the first time. Now it's kind of like, yeah, not too bad. I'll take it. Chemical sunscreen, aka organic sunscreen, no white cast. Great if you have oily skin. They say it has a matte finish, but it's not like that matte. I know some people have really oily skin, but some of these intensely matte sunscreens, it's like, feels like you have Comet on your skin. The thing about this, in contrast to a lot of the other Caravee sunscreens, is there's no niacinamide in that one. No pilling, no white cast, easy to apply, no stinging, burning around the eyes, hydrating, moisturizing, has the ceramides, has the hyaluronic acid. Both ingredients together are really nice for the moisture barrier, keeping your skin hydrated and moisturized, but you have that good broad spectrum sun protection on board for daily use. Not for the pool, it's not water resistant, not for doing sweaty sports outside, but for everyday use, it's fantastic. All right, guys, those are the sunscreens I actually use on a regular basis, use up. So you guys know, I try out a lot, and some of them that I try out are in progress. Like, they're good, I just haven't, finished them. But these I've been collecting in my little bin here for a while and needed to share with you guys. But like I said, stay tuned for the SPF lip balm. I don't know when it's going to go up. I'm really hoping, fingers crossed, I can get it out to you guys this month, because then we'll be in July before you know it. But I've really got a great lineup. There are a ton, you guys. I kind of went a little overboard, so I'm really hoping I can get it to you guys, fingers crossed, this month. I don't want to push it to July, but yeah, definitely be on the edge of your seat waiting for the SPF lip balm mega review of 2025, you guys. But if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.